Yeah,
Hello,
hello, brother.
good morning. Hope you're good.
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm all right.
Happy Sunday.
Thank you very much. Same to you. You
Okay.
have you have any questions for me regarding the topic? Have you been listening?
No, I just joined your life now.
Okay. Let me just do a recap quickly.
Okay.
Young prof, well, yeah, I can to you too. I was talking about relationship Muslims are supposed to have with non-Muslims, and I
Yeah.
said in our tradition it is well established that Muslims can have good relationship with those who are not Muslims. And the first verse I quoted was Quran chapter 60, verse 8 to 9, where it says, God has not forbidden you from being righteous and being just towards those who have not fought you because of your religion, nor
Yeah.
driven you out of your homes. Then the next verse now says, God has only forbidden you regarding those from having this kind of relationship, regarding those who have fought you because of your religion, driven
Yeah.
you out of your homes, and have supported others in driving you out. This is the only
Yeah.
exemption. And then I gave examples from the life of the Prophet himself. The Prophet himself had good relationship with everyone, both Jews and Christians. He invited them for food, they invited him for food. He gave charity to Christians and Jews, and so on and so forth. Even when the Muslims were being persecuted, they had to go to a Christian king that is in Abyssinia. And in fact, the Quran allows marriage with people of the book. And I was saying, better what relationship is much more better and intimate than the relationship of marriage? And the Quran itself tells us that marriage is built upon love and upon mercy. So if we are not supposed to have good relationship with those people of the book, why would the Quran go to an extent to say that we are actually allowed to marry from the people of the book? And accommodation that is not given to the pagans. When I say the pagans, those who clearly worship idols, right? So in the Quran, there's a difference between those who clearly worship idols and the Jews and the Christians. For us, we believe that all of them are all disbelievers. However, some disbelievers are much more closer to us or are much more better. So we believe the Jews and the Christians to be much more better than the stark pagans who worship idols day and night. Are you getting me? So the Quran does not permit marriage in any form with the stark pagans. Quran chapter 2 verse 2 to 1 and Quran chapter 60 verse 10 is very clear about it. Why the Quran allows marriage to the Jews and the Christians, to the women of the Jews and the Christians. So that's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, brother. I think what you actually explained is actually very beautiful. The world would be a better place today,
Mm.
especially Nigeria, if we all could reason that way. And what you actually explained, I can call that a reform to Islam. Because if we are to look at the Islamic narrations of the 7th, 8th century,
Give me examples.
yeah, I'm coming. Now, firstly, the Quran regards those who disbelieve in the Prophet as worst of creatures.
Yes.
So when you describe me as a worst of creation, is that a good relationship? Am I more better than another person?
Okay.
Because you regard me as the worst of all creation.
Yeah.
When you go to the Hadith,
No, one by one, please. One by one. Let's not overwhelm ourselves. So the
okay,
Quran refers to you as worst of creatures. The same
yeah,
Quran tells you that the closest to the believers are those who call themselves Christians. You've not read that one too? Quran chapter 5 verse 82. The Quran says, because among them they are priests and monks and they are not proud. The Quran says Christians are not proud. Quran chapter 5 verse 82. The Quran says among these people of the scripture, not all of them are the same. There are some among them who are actually righteous and true. The Quran says about people of the book, the Quran says, when the Quran, I think Quran chapter 66 verse 12, and then the Quran says, we gave those who believe among them, make them to be superior over the disbelievers until the day of judgment. The Quran praises Christians in so many other parts of the Quran. So I think what you are doing is you are picking one part of the Quran where the Quran says about Christians who are disbelievers, who are bent on disbelieving, and the Quran says they are worst of creatures. Of course, for us, from a spiritual point of view, and also even you as a Christian, the same thing applies. In your scripture, they tell you that, you know what, those who are actually disbelievers in Jesus Christ, right? The Quran says, do not be associated, do not be equally yoked with disbelievers. They call them disbelievers. So these names do not actually matter. The point is, you are a disbeliever to me, I am a disbeliever to you. Yes, the Quran calls Christians and Jews worst of creatures. Why? Because they have much more, they have bigger evidence, to believe, and yet they refuse to believe. Now let me give you one thing you are missing. In all of this narration, there is no way the Quran tells us that when we go outside as a Muslim, if I see you on the road, I should now call you the worst of creatures. No. That's why you are seeing in the Quran. This is God Almighty telling you as a Christian that you are worst of creatures. However, He is not telling me that when I go outside and meet you, I should now call. They are two different things. We kind of differentiate in Islam.
Brother, listen, there's something we are misunderstanding here. If God declares, if God is calling me the worst, I think God is all merciful. Instead, it would have been the opposite, with humans calling me as worst of creations, and God is instead welcoming me. Like, for example, I'll give you a typical example in our daily life between Christians and Muslims. Have you discovered in our daily life, especially in Nigeria, where we all come from, when a Muslim leaves, like when a child leaves Islam and becomes a Christian, he is regarded as an outcast. He is like the father can slaughter you. It's like, yeah, but when
Bro,
with a Christian,
bro,
let me finish.
bro,
When a Christian child leaves
bro,
Christianity and goes to that
bro,
religion, we take it
bro,
as a practical. So yeah,
bro, the same thing is happening in the South. All these things you are saying, these personal examples you are giving, it always happens when there is always a majority of one group of people in a particular place. The same thing happens in Anambra State. The same thing will happen in Ebonyi State. I have Christians who are Igbos, who come from the east, and they say the same thing. These people are seen as outcasts. I have one person on my phone right now. His name is Malam Yahya, and he's from Enugu State. And they hardly go to the village. Why? Because they've been seen as outcasts all this while. If anytime they go to the village, like his own,
brother.
Hold on, bro. See, we are talking about Islam here. Whatever your personal experience is, right, doesn't matter, because everybody could bring his own personal experience. And that's why I was also telling you that I also have personal experience, not from my own personal experience, but from what others have experienced who are actually close to me. The point I want to say is, which I don't want you to distract me from, calling you worst of creatures is because you disbelieve. If you don't want to be called worst of creatures, then believe. Also, from your own scripture, right? God Almighty also calls those who do not believe bad names. That is not the point. The point is God telling us as humans not to have good relationship with those who are disbelievers, those who are worst of creatures. Is God telling us? That is the point here. The point is not whether you are called these names, because yes, you are these names, and we believe that that's what you are. That's not the point. You also believe that I'm a disbeliever. That's not the point here. Let me give an example. I wanted to say something, but you took me out from it. Pharaoh, do you think there's any disbeliever right now in the world right now that can be greater or worse than Pharaoh? Do you think so? Than Pharaoh, yeah.
Yeah, somehow I think so. There are people actually. There are people who are not neither, especially in the USA. Like, I'm in the Western world. I have seen people where just seeing you as a Muslim.
I'm asking you. Just forget all of your stories, please. Forget all your personal experience. I'm saying, do you think there are people right now in the world who are worse than Pharaoh?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Now the Quran, when God was commanding Moses, and Moses, who we believe to be a Muslim prophet, when Moses was going to Pharaoh, the Quran tells him, tell Pharaoh, فَقُولَا لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا لَعَلَّهُ يَتَذَكَّرُ أَوْ يَخْشَى. When you go to Pharaoh, speak to him softly, so that he will at least hear your words, or he will be reminded. So the point is, when it comes to interpersonal relationship between one human to another human, the way we are supposed to address each other is different from the way the Creator addresses a human. So the creator can address you as he likes. He can call you the worst of creatures. That is for the creator and his creation. But when it comes to a creation versus another interpersonal relationship between two creation, you cannot go to a Christian and say, you know what, you this worst of creature, come, I want to tell you something. No.
Okay.
God is telling us that we should
That is what
to them,
I'm
we should
trying
be kind to them.
But that's what I'm trying to prove. Now,
That's what.
let me finish my statement. When God calls us the worst of creations, what happens? When you read this Hadith, Sahih Muslim 2767, what is Muhammad saying? Go fight, unalive the Christians, unalive the disbelievers, unalive them in the name of Allah.
What?
Pursue them from their houses. What is he commanding people to do?
What? Give me the hadith, bro.
Sahih Muslim
Okay.
2767.
2767. Are you aware? Before I open it, are you aware?
No, wait. It's not a mistake. Let me bring it back. It's Sahih Muslim. 1 minute. Although that very hadith also is somehow, but let me give you the exact hadith.
You're not getting the point, bro. Nobody is saying Prophet Muhammad did not fight the Jews and the Christians. The question is, what did they do? So if you don't know what they do, then you're obviously quoting out of context. And also, do you know that in Islamic history, Muslims actually fought each other? Like, so what did the other Muslims do? Are those other Muslims not Muslims? Why did they fight each other? So do you have to account for all of these things so that you don't just make a theory that is biased? Because we are saying if there's an aggression to you, you can actually stand up and defend yourself. So if this aggression is from a Christian, you say, I don't go fight the Christians because I don't make people criticize me. They go talk say they fight Christians. No, if the aggression is from a Christian, then you stand up and fight the Christian. If the aggression is from a Jew, from a Muslim, the same thing. So the thing is that we are saying the cause of the fighting is not because of the difference in religion. The cause of the fighting is because of the aggression.
1731.
Okay, you say Sahih Muslim, right?
Yeah, 1731.
All right. That's the book of Jihad. Let me see. It has been reported from Suleiman bin Buraidah through his father that when the messenger of Allah appointed anyone as leader of an army or detachment, he would especially exhort him to fear Allah and to be good to the Muslims who were with him. He would say, fight in the name of Allah and the way of fight in the name of Allah and in the way of Allah. Fight against those who disbelieve in Allah. Make a holy war. Do not embezzle the spoils. Do not break your pledge. And do not mutilate dead bodies. Do not unalive the children. When you meet your enemies who are polytheists, invite them to 3 courses of action. If they respond to any of this, you also accept it and withhold yourself from doing them any harm. Invite them to accept Islam. If they respond to you, accept it from them and desist from fighting against them. Then invite them to Islam. If they respond to you, accept it from them and desist from fighting against them. Then invite them to migrate from their lands to the land of the Muhajirun and inform them that if they do so, they shall have all the privileges and obligations of the Muhajirun. If they refuse to migrate, tell them that they will have the status of Bedouin Muslims and will be subjected to the commands of Allah like other Muslims. But they will not get any share from the spoils of war or fa'i except when they actually fight with the Muslims against the disbelievers. If they refuse to accept Islam, demand from them the jizya. If they agree to pay, accept it from them and hold off your hands. If they refuse to pay the tax, seek Allah's help and fight them. When you lay siege to a fort and the besieged appeal to you for protection in the name of Allah and His Prophet, do not accord them the guarantee of Allah and His Prophet, but accord to them your own guarantee and the guarantee of your companion, for it is lesser sin than the security given by you or your companions be disregarded than that the security granted in the name of Allah and His Apostle be violated. When you besiege a fort and the besieged want you to let them out in accordance with Allah's command, do not let them come out in accordance with Allah's command, but do so at your own command, for you do not know whether or not you'll be able to carry out Allah's behest with regards to them. So I've read it. What is there now that you think is
okay? Now, according to that hadith, it actually draws big contradiction within several parts within the Quran. but I won't go to the contradiction of other part, like there is no compulsion to Islam, because
Okay.
it contradicts. Yeah, it actually contradicts that is there's no compulsion. Like you cannot force somebody to Islam. But now the issue is this: the hadith start by saying, "Fight in the name of Allah, fight against the disbelievers, the worst of creations." You are coming to attack me. You are asking me to be a friend with you, but at the same time, you are coming to fight me. And if I
No,
don't want to
the
fight,
hadith,
I have to be conditions. Let me finish.
the hadith
There are
is not
conditions.
saying. No, I'm coming. I'm just want to correct you. The hadith is not saying the Muslims are coming to come and befriend you. The Muslims
But
are coming to fight you. They are not coming to befriend you.
that I'm asking, that I'm telling. So what is the friendship
Yes.
between me and the Muslim? If the Muslim who are coming to attack me, is there
This
any
one you just quoted
friendship?
is in a case of war now. This one you just quoted is in a
No,
case of war.
they are coming to
So,
wage war.
no,
Brother,
they are not coming
listen,
to wage war.
listen.
They are not coming to wage
Look
war,
at the
bro.
hadith. No,
Listen,
brother, the
I've read
hadith of
it.
war.
I've read it, bro. It's called the Hadith, Book of Jihad. We know what jihad is, bro. We
Okay,
know what jihad is. So let me explain to you,
and it
bro.
exists today. Jihad exists today.
Let me explain to you, bro.
You know that you are you aware it still exists today.
Nothing exists like this, bro. We believe jihad continues until the day of judgment. We believe
Okay,
jihad
thank
continues
you.
until. But the point is, if you are talking about Boko boys, then Boko boys are not representing Islam. That's not Islam, bro. And by the way, everyone knows, except you are living under a rock, that what Boko boys are doing is politically motivated. That's not the point, bro. You don't understand what the meaning of jihad is. The hadith, right, are narrations of the prophet at different times. Sometimes it does not give you the context. Like this one, it does not tell you where they are going. It does not tell you where they are going, and it does not tell you what those people have done. It does not tell you. But we know from our sources all the different battles that the prophet fought, all the different battles that he did not fight, but he sent others to go and fight. And we know all their story. So if what you do is that if you can just zoom in, give me a single battle that the prophet fought against, let's say, the Jews or the Christians, and let's analyze it. What you just did, this is a hadith that talks about a general battle. The prophet is sending people to a battle, but we are saying in response to you that before the
Okay.
prophet would send any army, it is because those people have already showed an act of aggression towards the prophet, and the prophet is standing up against them. So this is what we are saying.
Okay. Okay,
So you
brother.
now, what you are going to do, my response to you is that zoom in and give me one particular battle that the prophet fought that you
Okay.
think against the Jews and the Christians that you think is actually bad. Yeah, so I'll analyze it.
Okay. Okay. Firstly, brother. Firstly, you actually misunderstood the context of that hadith. That hadith, it is giving the rules with a new king. Whenever a new ruler, whether it's a new somebody is assigned by the prophet, it is giving you the rules, the general rules to follow. If the prophet assigned you, your rule was to fight.
Bro,
That is a general.
bro,
Let me
are
finish.
you up here to ask me a question, or you want to just argue with me, bro?
No, but
All
let
these
me
things you are
finish,
saying, we know our history, we know what it
brother.
means. You are the one misunderstanding.
Brother.
I'm trying to correct you. You are even telling me you see, you say he's a king. It's not a king, it's a commander, the commander of the army.
He's a
Just
commander,
a correction. Just to correct you, you have to use the right words to show me
Okay,
that you know
okay,
what you are
okay.
talking about. Once you start using the wrong words, it shows that you don't have. See, let me tell you, I give people this example. I give you this example. Imagine that
Okay.
you are talking to somebody about basketball, and you say, "Oh, you do know the other day," and you are claiming that you actually understand basketball, and you are telling them, "You do know the other day I was watching this LeBron James. LeBron James was just bouncing a ball. He passed it to this other guy. This guy passed it back to him, and he just put it inside. It was a goal." And the people will just look at you. What did you just say? It's a goal in
Brother, I
basketball.
believe that.
So the point is, you are using words that shows me that you don't know what you are talking about, bro.
Brother,
And I want
listen,
to
brother.
explain to you.
But when you give me the time to explain, brother, I believe as a mature conversation, you listen to what I have to say, as well as much I do listen to what you have to say.
See,
Now,
bro,
what I'm
I've already explained to you.
brother,
There's nothing you want to say again.
brother,
I've already explained to
brother,
you,
let
bro.
me finish.
Give me a
Brother, let me
specific
finish.
hadiths,
Brother, let
hadith.
me finish. Oh my
Okay.
God,
I'm going to give you the benefit
brother.
of doubt. I'm going to give you the benefit of doubt,
No,
bro.
the
Continue.
issue now is, yeah, I have a one word, just that it's in my second page. I have a one
So
word
you
even
don't
for
know it. You
my
don't know
word.
it on your head. You don't know
Let
it.
me
You don't
finish,
know it
brother.
offhand.
Why do you keep interrupting, brother?
You don't know it offhand.
Why do you keep interrupting?
Bro, you come up as if you wanted to ask me a question. I don't know it was going to be a
This is
debate, bro. You want it to be a
okay. Can I
debate?
ask? Okay, it's okay. Can I ask a question? Let me just keep away
Okay.
from this. Okay. Can I in relation to Muslim relations or out of the topic on the screen?
Out of it?
Yeah, I'm asking if I can ask a
No,
topic.
you cannot, bro. You cannot be treating one question. We've not even dealt with what you brought on the screen, and you want to
Okay.
catapult yourself to something else. Hold
Okay.
on to what you
Okay.
have on the
Thank you.
screen
Okay.
and
What I have.
and deal with it, okay?
Okay. Can we deal with it on our daily life or based on history? Because if we are going back to the history of Islam, like 7th century, everything you have to tell me was this was in the days of war. This was the war period. Because I discovered that most of the Quran verses are revealed during war period, which means we don't even
Most
have to
of the
take them
Quran.
today.
Most of the
Yeah, yeah.
Quran verse. Bro, I'm going to bring you down if you use that word again. What are you saying, bro? What is most of the Quran? You just tell me
Brother.
that most of the Quran is about war. Bro,
No, no, I didn't say
will
that.
you explain what is in your front so that we
Okay.
can get going, please?
Okay, now, okay. That's the hadith I just gave you. I don't know if it
Yeah.
actually went to the context of it.
Yeah. So we are saying all of these hadith are spoken in a context. This is just the
Yeah,
word that this prophet spoke, but we
yeah.
don't know the context, right? But we know that the Quran itself gives us the general motive and the general purpose of what jihad is. Jihad. The Quran already tells us. So, first of all, I'm going to tell you the general purpose of jihad, jihad, right? That the Quran spells out. Then after that, I want you to come back and I want you to give me now, since it's talking about the fight in the name of God against those who disbelieve. Give me an example of one battle that the prophet fought, and then we can analyze it because this is too general. It's too general. We don't know who they are fighting against, right? We
That
don't know who
is
they are.
it.
What is that
That is what
what?
I said, bro. That's what I said, that this hadith is talking about the general rule of prophet when he appoints a new commander. That this is that the instructions of the prophet.
This
This is a
is a
general rule.
specific. This is not a general rule. Hold on. Of course, I get your point that when Muslims are going to maybe to, like, it's well documented in Islamic history that when Muslims, when they were taking over Syria, when they were taking over Persia and the Roman Empire as a whole, that's what they do. They go and they give the people three options. But the point is, we know from the context of our history that it was the Persians and the Romans who first looked for trouble, and then the Muslims went about this land, trying to take over the government of these lands because they've shown that they are aggressive towards the Muslim state, and at any point in time they would attack the Muslims. In fact, we have a hadith. I can bring the hadith up to you, where it is mentioned about one of a companion of the Prophet. I hope you are hearing me, bro, because one of a companion of the Prophet. Oh, I hope you can hear me. There's a hadith where it was mentioned about one companion of the Prophet called Umar radiallahu anhu. Okay, Umar said he had an agreement with one of his Ansari brother that one of them should be with the Prophet at all times. If that one is tired and he goes back home, the other person will go and stay with the Prophet so that they can be monitoring everything that the Prophet is doing. And one day while he was in his house at night, this Ansari brother just came to knock on his door, very like loudly, aggressively. Then when he opened the door, he was surprised. What is it? What is it? And he told his Ansari brother, "Have the Ghassanids attacked?" So these Ghassanids, they are part of the Roman Empire. So he now was telling his Ansari brother, "Have the Ghassanids attacked?" So in other words, at this point in time, it gives you the context, what is happening in the background. That even though the Muslims are in Medina peacefully, they are at any time they are afraid of an imminent attack from the Roman Empire. So, and his Ansari brother now replied by saying, "No, it is even worse than that. The Prophet has divorced his wives." And then Umar ran to his own daughter, Hafsa. So the point is, we have context that showed us that no, it was the Persians and the Romans that showed that they were aggressive towards the Muslims. And the Muslims went about in return. For example, in fact, we even know the first battle that was fought against the Romans. The first battle, we'll call it the Battle of Muta. We know the whole story behind it. The second battle, we'll call it the Battle of Tabuk. We know the whole story behind it. So you need to give me a specific example of a battle of the Prophet that you think is unjust, and then let's analyze it. Now, let me give you the whole context of jihad, since I wanted to say it before. the first verses in the Quran that is mentioned concerning jihad, military warfare, right, is Quran chapter 22, verse 39 to 40. And nobody is denying this. We are not saying this thing is not Islam. It's not in Islam. We are saying it is fair and it is just and it is legal by any standard that you want to use. The Quran says, Quran chapter 22, verse 39 to 40. You can write it down, bro, or you can bring it up since you are on your screen. Bring it up. Quran chapter 22, verse 39 to 40. Can you do that for us? Can you bring Quran chapter 22, verse 39 for us? I'm guessing you are trying to do it, right? Okay. Now this is Quran chapter 22, verse 9. The Arabic says, Uzina lilazina yuqataluna bi'annahum zulimu. Permission to fight back is hereby granted to those being fought against. Right? So, like, according to most of our commentaries of the Quran, this is the first verse revealed concerning warfare. It gives you the whole purpose, the whole motive. Permission has been given. Now you can now fight back. After so many years of being persecuted, now you can stand up and defend yourself. Fight back those who are fighting you. For they have been wrong. You guys have been wrong. And God is capable of giving you victory. Can you go to verse 40, please? Quran chapter 22, verse 40. I'm sorry for telling you this. Quran chapter 22, verse 40. That's the next verse. Okay. Who are these people who have been given this permission? It says, Allazina ukhriju min diyarihim, those who have been driven, they have been expelled from their homes. Bigayri haq, without no reason. Illa an yakulu rabbuna Allah, except that they are proclaiming that God is our Lord. Right? And the Quran says, وَلَوْلَا دَفْءُ اللَّهِ النَّاسَ بَعْضَهُمْ بِبَعْضٍ. Had it not been that God repels the aggression of some people by means of others, destruction would have surely claimed monasteries, churches, synagogues, mosques, in which the name of Allah is much mentioned. So think, we are supposed to fight Christians for no reason. Yet, according to the Quran, we are supposed to make sure places like churches, synagogue, monasteries are protected. Does it make sense, bro? We are supposed to fight Christians for no reasons, and for no reason. It's simply because they are different belief. Yet the Quran still say we should make sure that through this fighting, places like monasteries, churches, synagogues are protected. So this is the context. This is the very first verse that was given regarding warfare. And it tells you the motive. And that's why I'm saying that one you are reading is just what the Prophet said at a particular instance. That does not give us the whole context. Where are they going to? And who are they going to fight here? But it just gives us a general rule that when of course you've already noticed that these people are there's hostility from this side of the border, and you want to go and repel that hostility, give those people three options. Number one, they can become Muslims if they want. If they become Muslims, then we know that, oh, from this side of the border we are safe. They are now Muslims just like us, so we don't need to be afraid again. The second thing is that, oh, let them not become Muslims. They are also free not to become Muslims, but let them become part of the state. And how do you become part of the state? By paying the tax. From now on, you start paying your tax, because all nations pay tax. All citizens pay tax. So maybe before you are paying it to a different government, but now start paying it to our government to show that you are part of our government. But that tax is only meant
for non-Muslims. That tax will only meant for those who are
also Muslims. If you don't
Muslims
know,
don't pay the jizya. No,
if,
brother,
in case if you don't know, if you don't know, ask, bro. You are correcting me,
One
bro.
minute. Yeah.
Muslims don't pay the jizya, but Muslims pay tax.
Yeah,
it's just different brother. Names. It's different names for different tax.
Yeah.
I just brother, to let you know. You want to explain? Let me explain. To me? All right, explain
the issue of jizya. What I know as some issue of jizya.
Wait, hold on. If you explain, will you agree? Will you accept me to ask you a question regarding your explanation after you explain?
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right. Go on, please.
Okay. Now, when it comes to where the issue of jizya comes into context in Islam, this was in a condition when the Prophet approached a new pagan city or community. Now, there were three conditions which the Prophet put first before you One of those conditions was to accept Islam and live as a free man. Second condition was to, if you don't want to accept Islam, you have to start paying jizya. And this jizya was paid by able-bodied men. Children do not pay jizya. Then the third condition was, if you cannot accept Islam, you cannot pay jizya, you were forced to leave that community. Or if you cannot leave, you are forced to go into war with the Prophet. That is where the context of jizya comes in. But now when you talk about taxes, I don't know any other time. When you talk about jizya, this comes with these three conditions where you find jizya. Either you accept Islam, or you pay jizya, which was paid by able-bodied men, not by children. Women don't pay jizya. Or you leave the community. Am I wrong? This was explained to me by an Arabic.
The way you are mixing it, you said jizya comes under these three conditions. No,
I didn't say
jizya does not. Going to war and starting a war has three conditions. You have to lay these three conditions first. First of all, you invite them to Islam. Secondly, if they don't want to be if they don't want to be Muslims, let them at least pay the jizya to become part of the state. So thirdly, and by the way, I'm just shaking my head because maybe you don't know what jizya is. Jizya makes you to be part of a state, and jizya is paid by like taxes in general is paid by everyone.
Well, in fact, you give me a reference.
Hold on. I'll give you a reference, bro. I said taxes. Taxes is paid by everyone. And lastly, if you don't want, then we are going to fight based on the hostilities that is there between us previously. So now the question now is, since you've explained this, let me just ask you a question that I say I'm going to ask you.
Can you bring me the hadith of jizya? The conditions. What the definition of jizya according to Islamic scholars, the hadith or the Quran?
The definition of jizya is actually a tax. It's actually a tax that is levied. It's actually a tax that is levied on non-Muslims, bro, living in Islamic state.
But you just said jizya is being paid by everybody, Muslims and non-Muslims.
That's I now corrected myself. Say tax. Tax is being paid by everybody, and jizya is one of those tax. So there are different names for different taxes. We have jizya, we have zakah, we have ushur, we have kharaj. All of these are different taxes paid by Muslims and non-Muslims. Just different names for, like, so that in administration there needs to be what is the name of this tax that you collected from this person? What is it meant for? Okay, it has a name. It's called jizya. Oh, this tax that you collect for this other person again, what is it meant for? It has a name. So that's why every tax has a name. Are you getting me?
We are talking a wartime tax. We are talking condition of wartime. We are talking a wartime tax, which was levied.
There's no wartime tax, bro. There's no wartime, but you are misrepresenting it. Jizya is not. You are not paying jizya in exchange for your life. You are not paying jizya in exchange for your life. No, that's not what jizya is. So I'm going to ask you a question. Let me ask you my question now. I said, well, I was one that said I want to ask you a question. You start asking me a question, bro.
Because the comment section is doubting what you mean by.
You are not talking with the comment section, bro. Are you talking with the comment section?
Okay, but even me, I'm in doubt. The reason of me paying jizya.
Let me ask my question first now. Let me ask my question first. Okay, why are monks not paying jizya? Let's go back again from your very idea, from the very idea that you've been trying to push in this discussion, is that these people are being fought because difference in religion. Now, if it is because of difference in religion, the monks of the Jews or the monks of the Christians, who are these are people who are very religious, fasting and praying every day and night. So if it is because of different religion, think about it. Are they not the people that I'm supposed to target first? Because now then they do and part, now then they do the religion pass. How is it, in case if you don't know, you can ask me, how is it that jizya is not paid by monks, and jizya is not paid by old men, and jizya is not paid by, it's not paid by men, monks, it's not paid by old men, it's not paid by women, it's not paid by children? So explain it. All of these people, and they are still Christians or they are still Jews, as the case may be. So why are they exempted if it is because of difference in religion?
Okay, thank you very much, brother. Before explaining the context of jizya, I earlier mentioned that jizya was paid by able-bodied men. This was a way of the Prophet to dismantle able-bodied men who are able to fight. Jizya was never paid by children. I earlier mentioned this.
I asked you monks.
Yeah, For the monks, I don't have any reason. For
Okay.
the monks, I don't have any reason.
Okay.
Same as I
So,
don't know any hadith which like restrict the monks to pay. And that's why I was asking you, when you bring me such pertinent thing,
bro, calm
it's
down,
good to
bro.
bring the hadith.
Bro, calm down. Calm down. So we don't just have only hadith in Islam. We have books of history that tells us how these things are implemented in reality. So I have
Is
a
it
book
according
with
to
me.
is it according to modern scholars, or
What do you mean by according to modern scholars? No, the book I have with me is a book of taxation. It
okay?
goes back to,
Like
let's say
like for
about three,
example,
let's say
like for
about
example,
three,
and I mean,
let's say about 300 years after the prophet.
okay, yeah, yeah. Then that 300
Don't
years, yeah,
don't
that's
don't read
okay.
don't read the Muslim conquest. So it's a book written by Abu Yusuf. It's a book of taxation. So, and it tells us that monks are exempted. And if you cannot account for that, all your theory falls down to the ground. Because which shows, according to, in fact, you even said it. You said able-bodied men. And you now say so that they cannot fight back. So why? Why is it able-bodied men not fighting and so on? Because it is the threat is coming from this section of the community.
Yeah, yeah. Do you
The
know why,
threat is
brother?
not, hold on, bro. The threat is not coming from monks. Because if it is different, again, I want you to understand something. If it is difference of religion, you will take out the monks. Because monks are, in fact, people who are very, very well religious in the other side. But if it's not because of difference in religion and it is because of an aggression, then therefore this aggression would not apply to this thing would not apply to some group of people. And also, what we even find in our tradition is, like during the time of Caliphate of Umar, the companion of the Prophet. I'm coming, please. I'm coming. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm back now. This one says.
I'm getting you. I'm just like trying to bring up something.
So, and also there's something in our tradition, in our history, that tells us that even though in time of Umar bin Khattab, he met a monk who was not paying the jizya. A monk who was not paying the jizya. Was he a monk or an old man who belongs to the people of the Jew of the book? He was not paying the jizya. And when he interrogated why was he not paying the jizya, the man said, because he doesn't have money and stuff like that. What Umar did was Umar held this man by the hand, took him to the public treasury, and instructed the administrators to start paying him regular salary from the public treasury. And he's a non-Muslim. So again, you are not getting what this whole thing, and people have commented on this silly. I have books written on it, so I'm not just talking from myself. I have even books written on it, even by Westerners, not even from a Muslim perspective, from Westerners. And they're saying the same thing. This is the Thomas Arnold preaching of Islam. Jizya is not something you pay so that you can save your head. No. When you see, I want to explain it like this. Everybody's paying tax, right? Like as I am now, I am paying tax to the government. I'm in the UK. A good example. I'm in the UK right now. I'm not staying in the UK and yet paying tax to Nigeria. I don't do that. While I'm staying in the UK, I start paying tax to the UK government. So the UK, I'm now a citizen of the UK government. They are now responsible for my protection. That's the whole thing. So these same people that we are talking about, they are paying tax before. So for example, I'll just give an example. Like for example, the Ghassanids, or in Islamic history, yeah, the Ghassanids, or the Banu Taglib. These are different tribes that were formerly under the Roman Empire. They will be paying their tax towards the Roman Empire. Once the Muslims took over, they will stop paying their tax to the Roman Empire and they will start paying their tax towards the Muslims. Now, for you to pay your tax towards the Muslims, you are now telling them, you are now giving a clear-cut, practical demonstration that I acknowledge that I am now part of your state. So because you now acknowledge that you are now part of my state, I no longer need to fear any aggression from you because you are now part of my state. So you will not do anything to harm your state. So I'm no longer going to fear any aggression from you. This is the whole concept of jizya. And it's only paid by able-bodied men. Okay, so this is the jizya you are omitting. Let me see. I have another declare Quran here. Let me just read from the commentary of it. Quran chapter 9 verse 29. It actually makes a commentary on this. Let me see if I can quickly get it for you. Quran chapter 9 29. It says taxation system have existed since ancient times. There are several references in the Old Testament, e.g. Ezra chapter 4 verse 20. In the New Testament, Jesus allowed paying taxes to Caesar, Luke chapter 20 verse 25. Under Islamic rule, all individuals had financial obligations. Every individual has financial obligations. Muslims paid zakah, which is about 2.5 of their savings, annual savings. And non-Muslims, the zimmis, were required to pay jizya, tax for protection from foreign enemies. The jizya was on average of 1 dinar, 4.25 gold annually. Women, children, the elderly, the clergy, the poor, and those who were unable to work are exempted from paying jizya. Those who opted to join the army were also exempted. Poor zimmis were supported financially by the state, just as I gave the example of Umar supporting a people of the book who was poor, supporting by the state. Muslim rulers even refunded the jizya if they failed to protect their non-Muslim subject. This is mentioned by Tabari, the historian, where Abu Ubaidah, when he conquired some part of Sham, what do you call it, Syria, some part of Syria, when he conquired it, and then the Roman emperor, because Syria was part of the Roman Empire, so the Roman emperor Heraclius mustered about 100,000 army to come and repel the Muslims. When Abu Ubaidah heard that the Romans are coming, Abu Ubaidah told all the governors that he had appointed in the Syrian state that they should return back all the jizya that was collected from the non-Muslims, and they returned it back to the non-Muslims. And he told them that we are going to fight an army that is very, very like insurmountable. If we are defeated in this battle, then we have nothing. We owe you nothing, because we have returned the jizya to you, the jizya that we collect, that we are going to protect you in return. So, but if we win this battle and come back, then you guys will continue paying us jizya, and we'll continue with our old terms of agreement. So Muslims even pay back the jizya in case they fail to protect the non-Muslims who are in their custody. So this is what jizya is all about. You pay the tax, and the government provides you welfare and protection in return.
Yeah, brother, that's very clear. But there's a very pertinent questions about this. Now, the prophet, you approach my community. I'm living peacefully in my community. I'm living very peacefully. And you entitle me to pay jizya. I was living peacefully before you came. And you now approach me and you want to fight me, and I say I cannot fight. You oblige me to pay jizya. Is that not some sort of political conquest or what? Why should you approach the state and force to pay jizya? Is it not intimidating? Is that not colonization?
Yes. What you just said.
Was it a colonial war or a religious war now?
What you just said is actually bad. What you just described is actually bad. But that's not the case.
Asked.
No, what you describe is bad. What you describe is very wicked. Like, I cannot even use words to describe. But that's not what Islamic conquer is all about. That's what we are saying. Islamic conquer, these people were not sitting down on their own peacefully. The way you describe it, no, that's not what we are saying.
Brother, listen. An example in Mecca. Example of Mecca.
That's what I want you to do. No, hold on. I think we are getting to what I want now. That's what I want you to do. I've been asking you to do. Give me a specific example. So again, just to let me answer the last question. So the last question is, no, these people are not sitting down peacefully. These people are aggressive. They are aggressive towards the Muslim state, and the Muslims are checkmating them. So this is what is happening. Okay. Yes, this is what is happening, bro. So if you doubt it, give me a specific example.
Now I'm saying, go and check the issue of Mecca. How the Prophet conquered. Mecca was never a threat to Islam nor Prophet Muhammad.
Sorry, what did you say again? Can you repeat what you said?
I'm saying Mecca, for example, was never a threat.
Are you saying this are you saying this because you know or you don't know?
I'm saying this. That's why I said that normally I cannot retain all the hadith on my head. I have a
Bro, say it so that everybody go hear you. Did you say Mecca was not a threat to the Muslims?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Oh, what's your evidence? Because me, I can give you so many evidence right now. What's your evidence that they were not a threat to Muslims? I'll give you an evidence. The first evidence is from what we've read so far.
1 minute.
Okay.
1 minute.
Okay.
I'm going to the hadith. 1 minute. I'm going to the hadith. I don't
all
like
right,
taking
all right.
things out of the hadith.
All right. Make sure the hadith tell us that they did not do anything. No, don't just tell us a hadith that says that the prophet conquered Mecca, because we know the prophet conquered Mecca. We're asking, what did they do before they were conquered? That's what we're asking. Are they just innocent, sitting down on their own?
When you say they were a threat, you are like giving many things. Let me first narrate before going to the hadith. I have even a video from an imam in Saudi Arabia. One of the Arabs. Let me finish. Just that the video is in my second page.
Since I'm waiting for you, then let me talk. Since I'm waiting for you, let me talk. The verse I told you to read, Quran chapter 22, verse 39 to 40. Let me read it out again. It says, permission to fight back have been given to those who have been fought against because they have been wronged, and God is competent to give them victory. The verse you brought out on the screen. It now continues. Who are these people? Those who have been evicted from their homes without any just cause, except that they say our Lord is Allah. Who evicted the Muslims from their homes? Who evicted, according to the verse we both read on the screen, on your screen, Quran chapter 22, verse 39 to 40. Who evicted the Muslims from their homes?
The non-believers.
Which non-believers? Where? Which land?
No, actually, I don't know the exegesis of that verse. You gave me that verse, and I will find out about it. But I don't know the exegesis.
Can you do it now? Can you check? Can you do it now? Can you? Do you have access to tafsir of? Can you go to tafsir of Quran chapter 22, verse 39 to 40?
Tafsir according to.
Let me even. Don't worry, I'll do it from my end.
I mean, like, which of the tafsir is it? Ibn Kathir?
Anyone, bro. Let me just quickly bring it out.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just going to read one and then I give you more examples. So this is Quran chapter 22 verse 40. You can see Quran 22 verse 40, the one that says, those who have been driven out of their homes without any just cause. Let's look at what Ibn Kathir says. Permission to fight. This is the first ayah of jihad. Al-Awf reported that Ibn Abbas said this was revealed about Muhammad and his companions when they were expelled from where? Where were they expelled from?
From their homes. I know. Yeah.
What is the name of the place that they were expelled from?
Well, I can't see it. You have to zoom in. No,
you can't see it. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's difficult for me to follow you up. You just have to read.
Don't worry. No, can you read it by yourself? Where were they expelled from? They were expelled from where?
They were expelled from Mecca.
Oh, beautiful. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in case you say Mecca did not do anything, let me give you more. Mecca did not do anything. I'm going to give you more. Quran chapter 8, verse 26. Can you read this? I remember when you were few and oppressed in the land, fearing that the people might snatch you away. But he gave you refuge and strengthened you with his help and provided you with good things that you might be grateful. God is reminding the Muslims about the time that they were few in the land and they were being persecuted. They were oppressed in the land. They were being unalive here and there. Let me give you more examples. Verse 30. It says, and remember, O Muhammad, when those who disbelieved plotted against you to restrain you or unalive you or evict you from, but they plan and Allah plans, and Allah is the best of planners. When the Prophet Muhammad was migrating from Mecca to Medina, what did they do? Do you know what happened before the Prophet migrated from Mecca to Medina? I just want to ask you.
No. Yeah, I'm getting
okay.
I don't know.
There was a bounty on his head. There was a bounty on his head. Anybody that could bring his head will receive a reward of 100 camels. The Prophet ran from Mecca by the skin of his teeth. As he was leaving his house, the assassinators were coming inside. They narrowly missed him. And that is not all. They still followed him. So instead of the Prophet to go to Medina straight, he had to go to another place to follow a long way, so that just to confuse the people who were following him. And they had to hide in a cave. When they were hiding in a cave, something happened. Let me bring the other verse of the Quran that talks about something happening. So eventually the Prophet Muhammad ran with his companion, his best friend called Abu Bakr, and they went to hide in a cave. So as they were hiding in a cave, something happened. The disbelievers, as they were looking for them, the assassinators, the people who were sent to come and assassinate the Prophet, eventually they came up to the mouth of the cave that the Prophet was hiding. So when they reached the mouth of the cave, his companion who was with him, Abu Bakr, was now afraid, and he was telling the Prophet, what if they catch us now? What if they see us? And the Prophet told him, don't be afraid, God is with us. The Quran now mentions this as a revelation later on, telling the believers that if they do not help the Prophet, they should not worry that God has already helped him. Look at it. It does not matter if you believers do not support him, that do not support the Prophet. For Allah did in fact support him when the disbelievers drove him out. Who drove him out again is still coming back again, which is Mecca. They drove him out of Mecca. And he was only one of two. That they were two. While they were both in the cave, he reassured his companion, do not worry, la tahzan, inna Allah ma'ana, Allah is with us. So Allah sent down his serenity upon his prophet, supported him with forces you believers did not see, and made the word of the disbelievers lowest, and the word of Allah is supreme, and Allah is mighty, all wise. Bro, they encountered let me give you more. Quran chapter 2 verse 214. See more. God is telling them about here. God is telling them to be patient, basically, because they were being persecuted. God is telling them to be patient. God is now saying, do you think you will be admitted into paradise without being tested like those before you? Like those before you, they were afflicted with suffering and adversity, and were so violently shaken that even the messenger and the believers with him cried out, when will Allah's help come? Mata Nasrullah. The Quran, Allah responds, Allah inna nasrullahi qarib. Verily, the help of God is near. So this was when the Muslims were being persecuted. Some of them were running out of patience. So God is now telling them, see, many nations before you too face so many persecution and so many struggles, right? They were so shaken and so tested, so to the extent that even the believers and the messenger who was with them, they shouted, when will God's help come? God is saying, verily, his help is going to come very soon. So these people were being persecuted, yes. And by the way, just to answer your question, right, to put the cherry on the cake, right, the conquest of Mecca was in response to the Meccans breaking what we call the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. Have you heard of the Treaty of Hudaybiyah?
Yeah, I said I have a documentary of that in my second account.
What is it about? What is Treaty of Hudaybiyah about?
Yeah, I can't actually recall it, but I have a documentary of that.
Bro, then you don't have it, bro. You have to have it in your head, not just have it in a book or somewhere safe. Do you know what the treaty?
No, brother, listen.
Okay, can you just summarize what the treaty is all about? The Treaty of Hudaybiyah.
Okay, a treaty is just like an agreement, as I can put it, between two or more people.
This particular one I'm talking about, what is it?
Depending on if it's a war treaty.
Yes, this particular one I'm talking about, what is it all about?
Okay. When it comes to the treaty, when it comes to that particular treaty, I think it's talking about when the Prophet went to Mecca. Now, they signed a treaty with the pagan state not to confront them. There was something like, you shouldn't attack me till this time, to this time.
So which pagan state is that?
The treaty.
Which pagan state is that?
That was a pagan community. That was a pagan community in Mecca.
Do you know the name of the community?
No, actually, that's why I'm saying I can't recall it back. I have more than
it's still Mecca. Hold on, it's still the same Mecca. It's still the same Mecca. Okay, now I just heard you said, unfortunately, the Prophet broke the treaty. How did he break the treaty, bro?
Okay, actually, according to the narration in the YouTube, he attacked them before the
okay, don't worry.
The time of the experience.
Let's see. You know what? I'm just going to browse. Look at my screen now. I'm just going to browse randomly to show you that this knowledge, you can easily get it if you want. I'm just going to browse it now randomly. How was the Treaty of Hudaybiyah broken? Let's just see. How was the Treaty of Hudaybiyah broken? Just a look, they watch, I've not checked it before.
No, okay.
That's how confident I am of the answer.
Yeah, I'm okay
just a look. The Treaty of Hudaybiyah was broken in 2 years, according to Islamic sources. The treaty was broken by the Quraysh. Who are the Quraysh?
Yeah, the pagan community in Mecca.
In Mecca. This breach of the treaty led to the Prophet Muhammad's decision to march against Mecca in 630 with an army of 10,000 men. The Quraysh's action were a direct violation of the peace accord, which had been a significant factor in the early spread of Islam and the establishment of Islamic State in Medina. Bro, these things are just simple Islam 101 knowledge. Oh. The Treaty of Hudaybiyah. See, let me explain more. Let me explain more so that you know. The Treaty of Hudaybiyah was not just a treaty between the Muslim state of Medina and Mecca. Of course it was, but it was more than that. Because at this point in time, Mecca and Medina became like the two superpowers in the whole of Arabia. So therefore, all the other tribes can either align themselves with the Muslim state, or they can align themselves with the state in Mecca. So some people align themselves with the Muslims, some tribes align themselves with the Medina. So part of the treaty is that these two major states, Mecca and Medina, are not going to fight each other. Also, every other tribe that is under Medina will not fight every other tribe that is under Mecca, that is aligned with Mecca, and vice versa. They will not do the same. So all the sub tribes that are under both of them will not fight each other as well for the same number of years. So what happened is that Banu Bakr, a tribe that is under Quraysh, Quraysh helped them, and they fought Banu Quza, a tribe that is under the alliance of Medina. They fought them, and this is how they broke the treaty. In fact, it was so obvious that they broke the treaty. That Abu Sufyan, who is a chief of Mecca, when he immediately knew that they had broke the treaty, he traveled from Mecca to Medina. He disguised himself. He did not want people to see him that he is the chief, until he reached the presence of the Prophet. And when he reached the presence of the Prophet, he was trying to apologize that, you know what, this thing that happened, it was a mistake. The Prophet did not even look at him. And some people are like, look, the enemy, this is the chief enemy, has entered upon the Prophet. They thought the Prophet is even going to say he should be unalive, but the Prophet is not like that. He himself knew that the Prophet was so compassionate, and that's the reason why I'm doing something. I want to talk for... Sorry about that. I had to just attend to something.
It's okay.
Okay. So I was just giving you the background, that it was so obvious that when they broke the treaty, a chief of Mecca, the man who has been orchestrating all the other wars against Medina, all this, Abu Sufyan, he went to the Prophet to come and try to seek reconciliation. The Prophet did not answer him. So it was obvious, bro. They were the one who broke it, and the Prophet marched against them. And because the Prophet was trying to avoid bloodshed, right? When he was marching against them, he made sure, even the Muslims, the companions, did not even know where he was going. He just told them that tomorrow we are going to go somewhere. Everybody should be ready. But he did not tell them exactly where they were going, because he wanted to because they know they have already broken the treaty, so he has the legal authority now to march against them. But he want to keep it very, very in a secret way, so that he will be able to catch them unaware. And if he catch them unaware, so that there will be no bloodshed, and they will be able to surrender, and then he is going to forgive them. And this is exactly what he did. Eventually, he marched secretly against them, stealthily against them. As he entered upon them, he overwhelmed them. They were not prepared, and what happened was that they just surrendered. So when they surrendered, what is he going to do with the prisoners? He now forgive them again. He did not say you must become Muslims. If again, according to your theory, all this why the whole reason is for them, because he's fighting because of difference in religion, he should have at least now forced them to become Muslims. He just told them, you are free, you are free to go. And he allowed them to go, bro. This is how merciful he was. So what we want you to do is, but if you know the details, you just know here, what you do, you are doing that, bits, but you don't know the details. So and it is those details that gives you the whole, that makes you understand the seerah very well, and the life of the Prophet.
No, Nigerian Muslim, I actually appreciate your sources concerning the jihad. Yeah, actually, I don't actually debate on something which is not within the hadith. You understand? And same as I won't be bringing you battles that the Prophet actually attacked within the Wikipedia. I don't count on that. Everything I look within Islam, I look within the Islamic scholars. So I do actually appreciate your knowledge about these things. It's very clear to me. Yeah.
But your mention of Wikipedia seems you don't. You are, what I did was the reason why I just had
No,
to Google it out is for you to show that for me to show you that this is just basic knowledge. Like it's
no, no,
basic,
no.
it's basic. And
No, it is not
by the way,
like,
what I'm using to discuss with you is not just hadiths. I'm using the Quran, I'm using the hadiths, and I'm using what we call the Sirah. Very important. I think most Christians don't know the Sirah. The Sirah
no,
means the
brother.
biography.
See,
The
yeah,
Sirah means
what
the
I actually mean is
biography
this.
of the Prophet.
Yeah, yeah. What
So,
I mean is
so
you
this
have, you
hadith,
have,
no, hold on, I'm coming. This hadith are different narrations that the prophet said at different times. So sometimes you don't know what was the context that he said this. So, but in a biography where everything is chronological, it tells you, okay, when he was going this way, he now made this statement. Okay, now it gives you a context in which he made that statement. So next time you'll not be confused. But sometimes just reading the hadith alone without the background context, historical background context, might confuse you. But when you read the
yeah,
Surah
yeah,
now
yeah.
puts that statement in a context. Okay, when he was going towards this war, he said this statement. So okay, I think it now makes sense now.
Yeah, brother, that's actually what is happening. Because to be sincere with you, when you look at Sayyid Abu Bakr, I just made the hadith about Sayyid Abu Bakr. You understand? And when I went through Sayyid Abu Bakr, it doesn't actually explain to us that this was a counter attack. But when I went further to research, I discovered that no, the prophet was first of all chased away from Mecca. You understand? But Sayyid
You
Abu
said
Bakr doesn't.
wait. Did you say you did a research and you got all of this that prophet
No,
was chased
no,
from Mecca?
no.
Oh,
That I'm saying that everything you said is the truth.
okay.
Because actually, according to the hadith, it doesn't literally explain to us. Like the hadith I brought to you, like
Yes.
Sayyid Abu Bakr, the Battle of Mecca, it just narrates us how the Prophet invaded Mecca,
Yeah.
but doesn't tell us the pure what happened before he
The
invaded it.
background, yes, and
Yeah,
it's okay. Like there's nothing to say. I want you to understand this. It's just a narration. Somebody's remembering. Oh, the prophet said this so and so. He doesn't need to start giving you the background story, like
that
of
is
what
it.
really happened. Yeah, he like when he was saying this thing, he was telling this thing to somebody else who understood the background. So it's already assumed that you already know the background. Now he's now telling you the prophet said so and so. But now, after so many years have passed, 1,000 years have passed, 1,400 years have passed, most people don't even know the background any longer again. So now you are just reading the narration, you'll be like, what is happening here? So you now need to go back to the
No,
Surah
actually,
again.
like,
The Surah puts this in a
yeah,
chronological manner.
like you can put it on this screen. This is the hadith here. That the two hadith I'm giving you, they don't give. I gave you Said Muslim, which is giving rules, but you explained to me about it. I understood very well. Now the Battle of Mecca. This is the hadith on my screen. It
Bro,
doesn't actually give us the
yes,
background.
we know, bro, we know, bro. So now I want to ask you a question. Since
Yeah,
we are done with everything, we are done with this.
yeah,
I want to ask you a question based on Muslim-Christian relationship. The Quran actually allows
yeah.
us to marry people from the people of people of the book, Kitabiya women. Now I want to ask you a
Um,
question. Why doesn't the Bible allow Christians to marry non-Christians? And
okay,
can't
thank
that
you.
be
Yeah.
used by somebody like me and say that therefore it shows that Christianity does not allow good relationship between Christians and other people?
Okay, thank you very much, brother.
Mm.
When you say Muslim allows interreligious marriage,
Mm.
Islam allows it with conditions.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing you have to know.
Mm-hmm.
Which means, like me and you as an African, we believe a woman is supposed to follow the man's in as an African. If I'm a Cameroonian, which I'm a Cameroonian, if I marry a Nigerian woman, normally that woman's supposed to follow me back to Cameroon. That woman has to assume my tribe. That woman has to assume my surname. You understand? As an African. But when it comes to Islam, we see it differently.
Just
I
to
have
let you know,
approached.
there's it's not compulsory that your wife follows your religion. That's what we are saying.
Yeah,
And also, by the way, just to let you know, your wife does not bear your name in Islam. I don't know whether you know this before.
yeah,
As a
yeah,
Muslim
brother.
man, your wife does not be. I just feel you are finding, you are trying to find a way around the question. The question is,
No, brother, you didn't understand me. I didn't say according to Islam, brother. I just started by bringing
okay,
according to we
can you
as
go to my question? The question is,
now.
Islam allows, even with conditions, Islam
Now,
allows.
okay,
That's the point.
listen.
You as a
Islam,
Christian, why doesn't the Bible allows at all?
Okay, thank you. Now, Islam allows interreligious marriage. A Muslim can marry a
Can you
Christian.
focus on your own? Can you focus on your own? Can you focus on
Yeah, yeah,
Christianity?
brother, I'm coming. Brother, you said we should compare the two, right?
I asked you a question. Okay, don't worry. I'll give you 2 minutes to explain yourself. Just flow.
Okay, thank you. We are comparing the situation, which I acknowledge the fact that Islam allows marriage with a Christian on the conditions the Christian will have to become a Muslim. And
No,
if you can't,
no, bro. Who is
wait,
that? Where did they get all these things from? Who they tell you all this? Who is telling you all of this?
brother, wait, are there Muslims on the chat? Maybe connect is there. Am I wrong? No, yes, if I'm wrong, you correct me. I accept the
Yes, you're
correction.
absolutely wrong, bro. So it's not.
Can,
You are wrong. You are wrong. You are wrong.
okay, can you bring me any rule, like any ruling within the Hadith or the Quran,
Quran
which
chapter
forbid?
5, Quran chapter 5 verse 5, it says a Muslim can marry from the people, from the believers, and also can marry from the people who have been given the scripture before you. Let me bring it out. Let me show you so that you can read it. Quran chapter 5.
Because this will actually go a wrong way. I have a situation presently concerning this issue.
I'm coming. So let me read it out. Today, all good, pure foods have been made lawful for you. Similarly, the food of the people of the book is permissible for you, and yours is permissible for them. And permissible for you in marriage are chaste believing women, as well as chaste women of those given the scripture before you. The condition is as long as you pay them their dowries in wedlock, neither fornicating nor taking them as mistresses. So yes, the Quran allows it, and the last passage, and whoever rejects
Can
faith,
you finish the verse? Let me just
and
know.
whoever
Can you finish
rejects
the
faith, I'm
verse?
about to do that, and whoever rejects faith, all their good deeds will be void in this life and in the hereafter, and they will be among the losers.
So when you say whoever rejects faith, who is rejecting the faith?
Like the Muslims now, whoever after what God has told you, whoever does not do it like that, and you now like disbelieve in what God has told you and do your own desire, then you are going to lose everything in the hereafter.
So, sir, yeah, that is a very good point. So, from the audience, so it means the notion we have today, as Muslim girls tell us directly, to marry me, you have to become an Islam. Is it wrong?
Again, you are using the wrong words, bro.
Okay,
Seriously,
thank you.
the
Now,
wrong
to the
words.
Christian,
Hold on, hold on. Anytime you use a wrong word, it kind of hits me here.
okay,
Like
now to
I
the
don't like
Christian part of
you
you.
say you say ask the question and I say they want to become an Islam. See all of these things, but it's
Okay,
kind
let
of
me bring you
no.
the
Hold on.
Christian part of it.
I know you're asking a different question. I'm telling you about something else. What I'm telling you is something different from the
Okay.
question you are telling me. You are using words that it just makes me feel this guy I'm talking to does not even know what he's saying.
I understand you perfectly
You know
now.
what you just did? You used the word Islam in exchange for Muslim. Like you used the word Islam instead of used to use the word Muslim. A person who
Ah, okay.
practices the religion is called a Muslim. Islam is the religion. So you don't say they should become an Islam. Nobody is becoming an Islam. You become a Muslim. So
A
just take note
Muslim.
of the words that you are used, please. Yeah. Continue your
Okay,
question, please.
now,
Yeah.
okay, now from the Christian part of it, typically, I'm a Catholic.
Mm.
I'm from the Catholic tradition. As a Catholic Christian, we do interreligious marriage. I can marry a Muslim as a Catholic,
Yes. So
and it is
where is it in your tradition or your scripture? Where does your scripture say that?
like, okay. Actually, I didn't actually like prepare for this. I don't have all the scriptures in here. I'll be sincere to you, but I know as a Catholic tradition, Christian Catholic, we do interreligious marriage. Like
Okay.
my grandparents actually did interreligious marriage.
Okay, let me show you my own. Let me show you something.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to be reading from Second Corinthians 6 verse 14. It says, "Do not be yoked with unbelievers. Do not be yoked together with unbelievers. For what do righteousness and wickedness have in common?" So the believers are called righteous, the unbelievers are called wicked. So just to let you know, the Bible also
Wait,
called
let me read. Let me read. Can you put it this in? Can you centralize? Yeah, thank you. No, no, no. Put it. No, don't zoom it. Just wait. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, now don't worry. I want to even continue more. Let me read the commentaries for you.
No,
Let me read
no,
Christian
forget about the
commentaries for you.
Let's interpret it.
So basically, it means in marriage and any intimate relationship you are not supposed to have with a believer. Let me see.
Brother,
See, look here. No, I'm not going out of context. He said, not be equally yoked. I'm even giving you a comment to support my point that I'm not just making these things up. He says, be not equally yoked with unbelievers, Christians with Jews or heathen, godly persons with the ungodly spiritual, with such as are carnal. Me, I am carnal, according to your tradition. The apostle particularly speaks of marriage. So here he's talking about marriage. But the reasons he urges equally hold against any needless intimacy or society with them. So according to this, you are not supposed to have fellowship with unbelievers. You are not supposed to have marriage with them, and any kind of intimate relationship, don't have it with them, bro. So now, the question now
brother,
is, the question I'm going to ask you now is,
no, brother, let me comment on that.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Actually, what I'm sorry, but I actually say you went totally out of context with that verse. Why do I say out of context? Firstly, if we are talking about relationship between Muslim and Christians, it won't feature in that verse in the Bible. Why? Muslims are not regarded. They're actually not in the Bible as disbelievers. They are not. When they mean the wicked, the verse clearly quotes the wicked. Are you the wicked? I want to ask a question. Are Muslims the wicked?
Yeah, according to Christianity, yes, we are.
No, listen, brother. Can you bring a verse where Muslims are regarded as the most wicked,
bro,
in the Bible?
Bro, all this. Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to end it here because you are just copying out now. Like, this is just excuse, bro. This, my God, this is just pure excuse. Because if I ask you now, do you agree that I'm a disbeliever according to your faith?
To my faith, according to the Bible?
Yes, according to the Bible, am I a disbeliever?
Like this when you mean, can you define what you mean by disbeliever?
Don't worry, bro. Don't worry, bro. Let's call it a day here. Let me
but you are being unsincere.
I'm being unsincere. I'm being unsincere.
Listen.
I'm being unsincere. I'm asking you, are we unbelievers according to the Bible? You are asking me which unbeliever. You want me to define it? Are we unbelievers according to the Bible?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. Take care, bro.